I want to read a piece from the Easy Peasy Way to Quit Porn. Heroin addicts deprived of heroin go through misery. But picture the utter joy when they're finally allowed to plunge a needle into their vein to end that terrible craving. Try to imagine how anyone could actually believe that they get pleasure from sticking a hypodermic syringe into a vein. Non-heroin addicts don't suffer that panic feeling, and heroin doesn't relieve the feeling, it causes it. This is my arm, right? Now imagine if I tried to stick a hypodermic syringe into that arm, right? Oh, camera went a bit weird. This is a pen, right? Imagine it as a needle. Ow, ow, ow. That really hurt, right? And that was just a pen. That was just a prick of a pen. It didn't even go into my skin. That hurt a lot. Because I was pushing it in there. A heroin needle hurts way more. The point is that a heroin addict gets actual pleasure from sticking the needle in. They stick the needle in and it's like, yes, yes, yes. The reason why they get pleasure is because they are an addict. Non-addicts would never get that pleasure feeling like myself. The reason why the heroin relieves the craving is because heroin caused the craving. The craving that is relieved is what gives the pleasure. Because I don't have any craving, I don't experience any pleasure from it. The heroin addict experiences craving, therefore they get pleasure from it. The same is true with cigarettes. The first time you smoked a cigarette, maybe you've tried it and experimented, I have, right? You smoke the cigarette, that's the first thing that happens when you smoke a cigarette for the first time. It's the first thing that anyone does when they smoke a cigarette for the first time. It's disgusting. But do it enough and you'll learn to love it. Not because it's an acquired taste like olives are. Olives are an acquired taste. It's because when you develop the addiction, you get craving. And when you get craving, it's relieved. Or it's relieved. Same is true with porn. Porn is disgusting. That's the truth. It's absolutely disgusting. And you know this because when you quit, or the first time you watched it, you knew it was disgusting. You don't think it's disgusting anymore if you're a porn addict. You don't think it's disgusting anymore. You think it's pleasurable. The reason being is because your brain blocks the disgust in the same way that when you smoke a cigarette and you're an addict, the disgust is blocked by the addiction. That doesn't mean it's not disgusting. It just means that you find it, you're blocked from it feeling disgusting. And the way you know it's disgusting is you quit, you go through a period of withdrawal, and then maybe you relapse. It's disgusting. If you use the EasyPeasy method or the Easy Way method, if you use the willpower method, you'll find it pleasurable again because the brainwashing is still there. The brainwashing is causing craving, and then they're able to relieve it. But if you use the Easy Way method, you won't have craving. And then the first time you do it, it's just confusing. You're wondering why you're doing it. And then you're like, oh, I won't use it ever again. But then you will because you've just restarted the addiction. That's a separate point. The point is that this is what we're dealing with. What you're dealing with is craving and fear that I can't live without my prop. And all you're doing when you engage is being rid of that fear and just providing that dopamine, which is relieving the craving. There's no actual pleasure there. You can't get pleasure from it. It's impossible. You can only get relief of craving. You can't get pleasure from it. You can't get pleasure from addictive substances. The pleasure that you're getting, the pleasure that you feel, the pleasure that you think, this is real pleasure. What you experience there is relief of craving. Relief. Which is why when you use porn, you have multiple tabs open. You might get bored. You just constantly looking for new material. When you do this, you're just peaking the dopamine again and again and again. And if you don't, well then you'll experience the craving. Non-PMO addicts do not experience this. They don't experience the relief because they don't have the addiction.